Hi everyone, welcome back. Hope you guys are having a great day. So this is a clip from a previously recorded video. This is a much shorter clip of it. But as always, not financial advice, for entertainment only. Do your own research. And I'm invested in closing companies. And if you enjoy this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out tremendously. And let's get into the clip. That's it for that. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin miners and as far as which ones are getting shorted more recently or less recently. Okay, so the first one we're going to start out with here is going to be Sphere 3D. You can see that they kind of peaked here as far as shares being shorted at 1.9 million. This was back on 215. It has come down to a low of 551,820. It's piked up a little bit here to 623,000. In a little bit, we're going to take a look at what percentage that actually means of their shares. I did a spreadsheet on that, so we'll take a look at that one. Argo does not have any data on it. BitDigital has been going up here as far as shares being shorted here ever since it looks like about by the end of the year of 2022 was pretty low, and then ever since then it has been increasing as well. It peaked, well, I think it's just peaked right now at 428 at 10,132,580 shares being shorted on them, so that has increased. Bitfarms shares shorted has been decreasing here ever since looks like, what is it, October 14th of last year, and that has been coming down here quite nicely, so they're only being shorted about 7.6 million shares right now. Next one is going to be Cypher. Cypher has been increasing here as far as shares being shorted as well to 8.183 million. They were down to about 3.3 million back in, well, the first 2 weeks in January here of this year. CleanSpark has come down to 4.8 million. This was back on 228. They went up here. It looks like they're coming back up a little bit here more to 8.6 million right now being shorted on them. Of course, Scientific, we don't have any data. DigiHost has been coming down as far as the number of shares being shorted. It has come up a little bit here to 325,000 right now. Their low was 235,000 shares, so not a lot of shares being shorted there. DMG no data. Greenidge is also seeing an increase in shares shorted to 1.8 million right now. Their low was about 1 million here. This was back on 315. Next one's going to be Hive. Hive has been coming down here with the number of shares being shorted to 5.6 million roughly. They did peak way back here. This was back of last year in August. And then their bottom was just not too while ago on February 15th, it looks like. Next is going to be Hut 8. Hut 8 is kind of all over, up and down here, depending on what news I guess they provide and information. But they're being shorted by about 14.6 million shares right now. Next is Irish Energy. They have been kind of also on a roller coaster ride here, up and down a little bit, and they're down to 1 million shares roughly being shorted on them right now, which isn't bad. Then you got Xfolio, no data for them. Marathon is also on a roller coaster ride as far as how much they're being shorted. I'm a little bit surprised they're being shorted this much, 42.5 million shares. That's a lot. I think they're one of the most ones that are being shorted right now as far as percentage of stock of shares. And I'm surprised because they have been actually executing pretty well this year. So I'm surprised that many people are shorting them. Mawson has been also on a roller coaster ride here. They peaked on, this was October 31st at 585,000 shares. They're now down to 99,000 shares. So not a lot of people are shorting Mawson for some reason. And then who do we have here? This is Riot right now. Also roller coaster ride here. They peaked, it looks like, back on 331 at 33.7 million shares. They are down to 26.8 million shares right now. Soluna, wow, this one's kind of up and down as well, all over the place here. They are currently at 565,000 shares, sorry. Their peak was 734,000 shares. So not a lot of shares for them being also shorted. And Stronghold, all over the place as well. They dropped way down here to 2 million shares, looks like right now. And yeah, 2.5 million as it is right now. They were down to 1.6 million. And I don't know if this is actually data from after they did the reverse split or not, but that's what we got right now. So that's what we're going to use. And then last one we got here is TeraWolf. TeraWolf, for some reason, also has been pretty calm here for the beginning, well, for quite a while here since last year. And it's been kind of up and down, but still relatively low, around 2 million shares being shorted. But recently, for some reason, that has gone up way up higher to 9.2 million shares. So a lot of people are thinking that they're not possibly going to be able to make it with the number of debts that they have. And I don't know, I think that might be the reason for it. So that's the information we have here. Let's take a look at my spreadsheet that I do have on this. And we'll go through the numbers here. So BitDigital, Argo, obviously we don't have any data for them. Let me see if I can zoom. That's pretty good. You guys could be able to probably see this. Well, maybe I'll make it 200%, make it a little bit bigger. Okay, so Argo right now, we don't have any data on them. BitDigital is 12.28% being shorted. Bitfarms 3.2%. Cypher at 3.3%, you could say. CleanSpark at 7.6%. Shares being shorted. DigiHost 1.1. Hive at almost 6.7%. Hut 8 at 6.6 also. So those two guys are pretty close to each other here. Iris at 1.9%. Marathon at 25.4% shares being shorted. If my math is right here, 42 million shares looks like being shorted. They have 167 million shares outstanding right now. That would make sense on that, I believe. That is accurate. Let's take a look at Marathon. Let's see if that's the number that we were using that's correct on here. Marathon, 167 million shares outstanding there. And then we have the data over here. Where is it? 167 million shares as reported of Q1. So that does make sense there. Where was that sheet? There it is. Okay, so Marathon, obviously 25% being shorted. Excuse me, Mawson at 0.61%. Riot, 15.34%. Sphere at 0.81 and TeraWolf at 4.36. So when we look at how much is actually being shorted, you can see BitDigital about 23 million, Bitfarms 8 million, Cypher 20 million, CleanSpark 36 million, DigiHost, excuse me, 530,000, Hive 17 million, Hut 8, 27 million, Iris 4 million, Marathon 390 million being shorted on them, looks like. Riot 297 million, Moss only 243,000, Sphere 199,000, TeraWolf 14 million. Wow, that's still a lot though. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna take a sip of my drink here because my throat is kind of getting dry. Okay, so based on all of this, when we look at the percentages or the amount that they're being shorted here, well, let's do it by the percentage. I think that might be best. So let's do that descending. You can see that, excuse me, Marathon is being shorted the most here, followed by Riot, and then BitDigital, CleanSpark, and this is based on percentages. This is not based on amounts here. And then you got Hive, Hut, TeraWolf, Cypher, Bitfarms, and Iris. And if we do it by the dollar value amount, you can see that stacks up this way. Marathon, Riot, CleanSpark, Hut, 8, BitDigital, Cypher, Hive, TeraWolf, Bitfarms, Iris, and the rest go down here. Excuse me. Okay, so that's kind of interesting. Like I said, I'm surprised that Marathon is getting shorted so much because they are performing pretty well, especially this month so far. They're doing really good. They're double what they had basically last month. So I'm surprised that that's happening. Along with Riot. Riot I can see because, well, the issues that they're having with one of their facilities or one of their warehouses after the storm in December or January, whenever it was, that they are still trying to fix that. CleanSpark, I can see that one being short because that one has been down for quite a while, hasn't been performing as well as some of the other ones, but still has no reason to be shorted that much, I don't think. Hut 8, okay, there's a lot of stuff going on with Hut 8 as far as production being down. Then you got the US-BTC merger as well, so that could be one of those reasons for it. And then BitDigital has been slow to get the miners installed, so that might be a reason. Cypher, surprised also, they've been growing really fast here in the last 5 months or so. And then you got Hive. Well, lackluster performance here. They're pretty efficient when it comes to their mining, but growth is lackluster. TeraWolf has also been growing pretty well, but they do have a debt issues, so that's obviously possibly why they're being shorted, but it's still nowhere near where some of the other guys are being shorted right now. Okay, so that's it. Let me know what you guys think of all of this. As always, not financial advice. You guys have to do your own research on this. This is my research that I do on all of these guys, and this is kind of what I use to see which ones I want to invest in, but you guys have to do your own research as always. Okay, and then let me know if any of my data is wrong here. There's a lot of data that I do track, and I could make a mistake. So if you guys do find something, please let me know, and I'll correct it. Okay, and that's it. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. We'll do